about. So when somebody sees that you're passionate and you're trying to serve them, they grab onto that. It's not like, they're they're being bombarded with a sales pitch, and a lot of times pitch, kind of equals sales pitch. So, the power story is more about, let my passion shine through to you, as I get across to you what I do, and who I deliver value to.
I love that. So what we're going to do today, Kevin, is we're going to help people ditch the pitch, and we're going to have them focus on the value that they provide, but also bring in the purpose and the passion so that it sounds real. Is that a good summary?
Yep, exactly.
And then as my compadre in the differentiation space, the biggest fear that I had in creating ShiftCo was in the area of differentiation. And I'm just going to give Kevin some creds here because we have a very different way of teaching differentiation. It's a very different way. It's very unique. It's extremely effective. And my biggest fear in scaling ShiftCo is I knew that I couldn't coach, every member on differentiation. And I was like, how are we going to ever find somebody that really understands differentiation? And man, I met Kevin and I was like, oh, wow, brother from another mother. He totally gets it. So, one of my quotes and how I define differentiation is being different in a way that matters to your buyer. So Kevin, as our differentiation expert, what does that mean to you? And you obviously knew how to do this before you came to ShiftCo, and you just adapted to our methodology. But what does it mean to be different in a way that matters to your buyer? And what on earth does that have to do with the pitch?
Yeah. So to me, the key word was matters, right? And that's what I kind of latched onto. So what matters to the buyer is what provides value to the buyer. So that's like how it all became related to me, because I was a real value creation guy. So with differentiation, the idea is not to compete based on price and feature set and stuff like that. It's to compete based on being different in a way that matters to the buyer. So delivering value to the buyer. And we have this whole pathway about differentiation, which is very keenly focused on customer interviews. The way you find out all this stuff is by talking to them, as simple as that sounds. So what matters to them, what provides value to them, they'll tell you when you ask them, right? So when you start to, when you take the differentiation pathway, we drill down into this, but as there's some key questions you ask them. And when you do that, you get them to open up and they'll tell you, what provides value to them, and you set all your messaging. And that's how differentiation is setting yourself apart. It's standing out from the crowd in a way that matters to the buyer. So that's what it is. And how it relates to a power story is, if you're in a situation where you're going to meet with somebody, then a quick statement, a powerful story, right? Storytelling is so big now. A powerful story about who you are, what you do, and the passion you have, and the gifts that you deliver, and the value you provide, I think goes a long way, a longer way than just rehearsing a pitch, following a template, talking to yourself in the mirror, that kind of thing.
Yeah, love that. Love that. So for those of you that are just joining in, we're going to be talking about ditching the pitch and learning how to share the value that we provide in a compelling way that speaks to what the buyer wants. That's what we're doing. We're not just saying anything. We're not saying something rehearsed like the elevator pitch. We're really understanding what the buyer values, and then we're talking about the value that we provide from that buyer's perspective. And before we get to the power statements and the power stories and ditch the pitch, I want to introduce another coach on ShiftCo. And Michelle helps people with confidence and building authentic relationships. Michelle, I want you to introduce yourself, and I want you to talk about the authentic demand generation process as our coach on that, because obviously the power stories, power statements really are a combination of demand generation and differentiation. So Michelle, take it away.
Yes, thanks, Terry. My name is Michelle Baker. My gift is igniting confidence. I'm super passionate about helping business owners and sales leaders to confidently connect with more of the ideal buyers they love working with. So as the authentic demand coach, I actually help people to see the process of again, connecting with those ideal buyers. Where do they live? What do they look like? And to do it in a way that you are generating an energetic connection. So what I explain to people, if you think about how you do business, you are creating thriving relationships so that you are not just getting buyers, which is hunting, you're actually harvesting. So you're creating this crop that you give to the crop and the crop gives to you. That's what a good business relationship looks like. And so what we'll show you here on this slide is, how do you start that? Well, you plant a seed. What does that seed look like? Well, somebody has to be aware that your business exists. You get up, you go out, you're doing networking, you're putting up posts, you're calling people, cold calling, whatever that looks like, going to a networking event, that you're connecting with people, you're friending them, they are connecting with you on LinkedIn, they're following you on Instagram, you're changing business cards, things like that. But at that point, they become aware of you. Now, they also get interested, they join a list, they do some follow-up, there's a desire and action, and that's the harvest. What we're teaching you here in Shift Code is to focus on the front end, become masterful at having them be aware of you and creating that interest, which is value, right? The only way they go from being aware of you and staying interested is that you must create some level of value, what Kevin talked about. And that's how, when you master that, you'll always have a harvest. Now, the traditional way of selling is that you go out and you try to get them to take action. You try to make them buy from you. You try to convince them by telling them what you do. And what we're actually doing is teaching you how to introduce yourself in a way that matters to them. So they will lean in and say, oh, God, tell me more. Or, oh, that sounds amazing. How long have you been doing that? So they actually will inquire and have a follow-up question after you make these introductions.
Yeah, exactly. And why the ditching of the pitch is so important is when you're building authentic relationships and you stop trying to, quote unquote, get people to buy, which is what a lot of marketing does, is it tries to get you to buy. When you set that aside, if you're still using that elevator pitch and trying to build relationships, it's incongruent and it just doesn't work. So what we want to share with you is our philosophy for how you can share your gift, share the value that you provide in a way that both fits who you are and connects with your buyer. And this green, my graphics are horrible and I didn't have time to have my handy dandy little person clean this up. So bear with me. But this part right here is when somebody's becoming aware of what you do, that doesn't mean they're interested. Think of it like social media. You're friends with some people on social media, but you don't really follow them. What you really want to do if you want to grow authentic relationships and change the trajectory of your revenue, is you want to grow friends who follow. That's the first most important step. And Michelle hit the nail on the head. So it goes without saying then that how we introduce ourselves determines if the person is interested in learning more. It's like how we show up is going to determine whether or not they're interested in learning more. So what Kevin and Michelle are going to help us do is ditch the pitch. And we've got one of our members who's gone through this process, and she's going to share some things with us today, and do it live and in person. And then anybody else that wants to practice the pitch, Michelle and Kevin and I are going to work with you on this. But what the process that we're really going to do here is we want to get rid of that elevator pitch. In fact, if you're writing it down and trying to script it out, you're not really understanding the process. It shouldn't be scripted. It should be much more organic, but it really should key in on what's authentically unique about you and what the buyer really cares about. And we call that a power statement. There's a power statement and there's a power story. So for example, think about who you are, think about the gift that you provide, the value that you provide. Start with that. And then secondly, how do people benefit, your buyer? How do they benefit from working with you? And it's this value is the gift plus your passion. So what gift do you provide your buyer? What are you really passionate about? Because when you give that power statement rather than the pitch, what you really want is the buyer to go, whoa, they're really passionate about this. So for me, my gift is growing businesses. I just can't not do it. And I love helping entrepreneurs grow their brands. And if you see me anywhere where there's entrepreneurs and someone asks me to introduce myself, I'm not going to tell them about my portfolio of businesses or all the various things, yada, yada, yada. Or I serve, can blah, blah, blah. I'm going to basically just say this: my gift is growing businesses. I can't not do it. And I love helping entrepreneurs grow their brands. And when I say that, somebody who needs that is going to say, can I have your card? Right. And they're going to ask me, they're going to be interested because they felt my passion. They felt the genuineness of it. They sense how real it is. And I know that that is truly my gift. Anybody that has worked with me will tell you, Terry Maxwell's helped me grow my business. And that is the gift. Like I literally cannot do it. I'll get an email from somebody that I hardly know, and I can tell, oh, they don't understand how to set their autoresponder up. And I'm going to send them an email. Hey, can I have a quick 15-minute and show you how to fix this autoresponder? I don't care whether they're a client or not, because I just want to help people grow their brands, and people sense that genuineness. Somebody else might say, the value that I provide is teaching leaders how to inspire the performance of their team. And I love doing that. And I wake up every day doing that. So the difference here with the power statement and a power story is just telling a story of someone you did that for, is you're just letting the truth come out. What is your gift? What is the value? And you can use gift, value, pick a word, doesn't matter. It's not meant to be a fill in the blank thing. And then the other part is you really want to let your passion come forward. What are you truly passionate about? And when you give that power statement, it should be real, and it should be about the value that you provide to that buyer, but it also should be something that just lights your fire, and it should feel that genuine. So that's the process we're going to use. And I'm going to introduce one of our members, and one of our companies recently hired her company. And I'll tell you just a little bit about that as I introduce her. And Star is amazing. She's a remote chief of staff for entrepreneurs. I know that our team is absolutely loving working with her and her company. And Star, you went through the differentiation and demand generation, and you worked on your power statement. So why don't you talk about the process and talk about when you're asked to introduce yourself? What do you say, Star?
Well, what I say now is that my gift is helping busy entrepreneurs have more time to focus on growing their businesses and with business building activities. And my passion, the thing that I think about when I'm laying in bed at night and dream about sometimes, is business operations.
And so you notice that it's not like a fill in the blank. So Star, why is the not filling in the blank so important? And you don't have it written down. You're not thinking about what you're saying. Why is that important? And how effective is that when you're delivering that message?
Well, it's important to me for a couple of reasons. I get nervous, when I'm meeting new people. So it's when I don't rehearse it, if I rehearse it, I'm going to forget it and I'm going to stumble through it. And if I don't rehearse it, it's very organic and authentic, and it's coming from who I am within. And I also have a tendency, I'm a details person. So I could have this elevator pitch previously, and it could be full of all these details that don't even matter to someone else. But by going through this process and learning how to do it in an authentic way, it helps to eliminate that problem for me.
And your buyer, what is it that they care about? Back to Kevin's point about the value you provide. So what does your buyer care about?
They care about time, because time is required to build a business. They care about growing their business's revenue, and they need time to grow that revenue. And they want support from someone who they don't have to spend a lot of time managing. Someone who knows what to do, they can go on ahead and do it, and they can focus on those other things without worry.
I love that. And one last question, and then I'm going to invite Kevin and Michelle to help our guest today. They're going to do coaching like they do with members on the power statements. And if we have time, we'll talk a little bit about power stories as well. So Star, do you say the exact same thing every time, or do you say the essence of that value? But it really is like, sometimes you're feeling, I'm really passionate about this, and it comes out a little different. Is it different from time to time, but it has the basic essence to it?
It's different. It's probably different every time, but it does have the basic essence.
Awesome. Well, I know for sure, because our team absolutely loves working with you, that they can tell that you take their time very seriously, and that you guys are dedicated to quality. So we very much appreciate that. So thank you, Star, for teeing this up. What we'd like to do now is Kevin and Michelle. Kevin is our differentiation coach. Michelle is, and he's a master coach in that area, and Michelle's the master coach on demand generation. And in both of those pathways, we work on power statements, because we're really trying to ditch the pitch. So they're going to do the coaching. Who would like to volunteer to give a dry run of a power statement so that you can see how that feels? And then Kevin and Michelle can help you with that. Any volunteers? Come on, don't be shy.
I'll volunteer.
All right, Susan, take it away.
So what do I start with? I just say what I'm passionate about, or my gift, or what?
Yeah, like you can. So the formula piece is trying to keep it as simple. Like, how does your buyer benefit from working with you? What is your gift? What is the value you provide? And then, think about the passions so that the passion comes out.
My buyers are making like 3 times the income that they normally would, because I have helped them understand how to be in business in a conscious manner and to impact their employees, their partners, their selves with conscious approaches and conscious communications. So I can do that through writing for them. I can do that through coaching for them. I can do that through grant writing, content writing, those types of things. And that's my passion. I love to write.
So Kevin and Michelle, how would you help Susan craft this and tighten it up so it's got that and it just pulls at you?
Yeah, it sounds like you have to inject consciousness, right? So you're injecting it into, like, you're weaving it into the framework of their companies.
Mhm.
Like weave, that's a good word.
Yes. And I like, she said, writing. So when you're saying and introducing yourself, the value is content or writing. So it's thinking about them. When they search for you, are they looking for a writer? Are they looking for a content writer? So then it's my gift is, or I'm passionate, on my gift is, or my value is, that writing piece is where you start. And then go back to what Kevin just said about the conscious.
Yeah, creating content. Creating content. Yep.
So are you starting to feel?
What do you
Well,
think?
I've been going through such a transformation in understanding what my own loves and passions and needs are, and what my limitations are too, as far as what I can do. And so the way I was introducing myself when I first joined ShiftCo, it was a whole different story. And now the way that I would introduce myself in using some of the things that you're suggesting is that my passion has always been, is, and always will be writing. I love to write, and I am able to provide value to all of my clients through teaching them conscious communications. And that's what I focus on in my writing, is conscious communications. And I help my clients learn how to weave that in to their own companies. And that could be through their speaking, through the way that they think, through their marketing content, what their website says, through their speeches. And it's so much fun. It's amazing because I impact people and their companies, and it just come away feeling so good.
So what I want to, and I know Kevin probably experienced it as well, but the second time you just did it, it had so much heart in it, right?
Okay.
You even glowed, like your tonality and your posturing changed a lot because it was you starting with what you love. You know, you even started by saying, this is what I do, what I've always done. You know, basically, if you find me, I'll have a pen and a pad, right? Passed out somewhere kind of thing.
Yeah.
Is what we see. And just so now you want to get it to where it's like maybe 2 sentences.
Right. I know it was a little long.
No, it's okay. But you have, that means you have a lot of richness to pull from, right? It's like you go out to a tree. If it's full of fruit, you got a lot of pick. If there's no fruit on it, there's nothing to pick from. You have a lot to choose from. So it's going to just tighten up and be that much more richer once you dial it in. Kevin, did you have thoughts?
Yeah, agreed. You know, the point being, we can tell that you're speaking from your heart about writing, you know, so how is that going to be valuable to, you know, your buyer? So through that, weaving it into what they do. And yeah, I agree. When you started to talk, you were like coming off the Zoom screen, right? Like you, I could feel you coming towards me, you know, with your heart open. So very good, very good.
Okay. I will let somebody else volunteer, and I'll work on the narrowing down of my statement. Thank you so much for the chance to do that.
Yeah, and the only thing I would suggest is you might, in your case, Susan, because the passion is so visceral, you might want to lead with that. Like, I have a passion for writing or a passion for words. And I use that and then use the value second. That may, you know, kind of let your heart, because you lead with your heart.
Mhm.
And if you led with your heart, that might make that a little bit tighter for you.
Yep.
Thank you. I also like, Terry, your suggestion about, I mean, you just said it came out. It was the way you speak that you said, I have a passion for words. I
Mhm.
usually say I have a passion for writing, but words opens it up to so
Bingo.
much more. So I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah, and it's a
Very
little tweak, right? So, you know, I have a passion for words and I use that passion to help, you know, entrepreneurs grow their business or organizations grow. And then boom, done. And then, you know, the visceralness of it, that's where the power is. It's not in what you do or whatever. It's really the value that you provide and the passion that is imbued in that. That's where the power is.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you.
And you can see this is not like a recipe and everybody's got to do it the same way. That's the beauty of it. It's meant to be authentic and real and powerful. All right, who would like to go next to take advantage of these 2 coaches that we've got here ready to help you? Don't be shy.
I'll jump in.
All right, Richard, go for it.
I love building brands, specifically helping the smaller brick and mortar business owners develop the knowledge, skills, and tools to build their brand and scale their business.
What do you guys think?
Okay, so I hear you say I love building brands, right? So what I'm looking to do is feel you say I love building brands. So what is it that you love about building brands?
Okay. It's equipping that small brick and mortar business owner with the brand building insight and understanding. It's giving them a knowledge base that they've never been exposed to. Because oftentimes, if it's a restaurateur, they grew up starting with bussing tables and then climbed the ladder up to where they eventually bought out the previous owner. So it really
So
is.
talk about dreams, right? So like helping them realize their dreams, like inspiring action, right?
Yes, without a doubt. And it starts with changing that mindset from being the operator, the on-site operator, to being the visionary to where, you know, they're the next Ray Kroc or the Michael Ripka of Torchy's Tacos or what have you, to where they've got a vision. They see that vision of, it's not just running and being stuck in this one unit. It's a vision of running, operating, building the team that can run, you know, 50, 80, 200 locations. And it's all about equipping them with that knowledge set, that skill set, that mindset for starters, mindset, knowledge set, skill set, and tool set to build the brand, which they don't have more often than not.
What do you guys think? How would you help him pull that out?
So I'm with Kevin. I hear the dream in there, and the dream is just more visceral than building brands. Just trying to wrap that around how you say that and still keep the brand building in there, because that's what he's actually helping them, the brick and mortar, do. And there's just so many B's right now. I'm in an alliteration dream right now. Do you hear it, Kevin?
Yeah. I'm trying to put some pieces together. So,
and you're spot on. It is about that dream. It is about that big picture vision.
So let me ask you this: when you're working with a client, and from when you initially talk to them and what they walk away with, what is that difference? So when you're talking to them, are they clear, or like, so I'm just kind of get a little snippet of what do they leave with? What is when you're done with them and they're over the moon, excited, in love with you, telling everybody about you, what did they receive?
They know and understand they have a brand advocate on their side, focused on their end results, their figures, their numbers. And they have a level of trust to where at the end of a first meeting, they'll say, hey, by the way, what's your perspective on this that we're considering? So they know and feel the level of expertise that comes from, 20 years in the agency business on Fortune 100 brands. And they know that I'm imparting some of that to them in this initial conversation. And that's where the brand building passion comes, and they feel that passion and that energy in the dialogue, because I'm truthful and I'm honest. And if they want to grow, if they want to do more business with me and it doesn't make sense, I tell them up front, first things first.
Okay, this is awesome. I love this. I love, like, you're clear. So how would you say what they acquire from you and take you away from it? So you're telling me about you. I want to know, what do they get without, like, if you, what are they left with?
They're leaving with a better understanding of what it means to build a brand and what it takes to build a brand. They have new knowledge. They've been enlightened. So they've kind of been withdrawn and they feel like there's a trust issue. Now they've got a trusted advocate who's equipping them with knowledge and insights that have never been revealed to them before.
I was feeling visceral there.
Yeah.
You're sharing secrets, right? So you're
I've got a white
There we go.
Kevin, I've got a white paper entitled 10 questions local ad reps don't want you to ask.
Yeah.
Yes, don't tell them I told you.
And your passion is working with small brick and mortars, you said, right?
Yes.
And you're helping them scale those businesses to big brands, right? So, I mean, you use some examples of people that have gone from one to many locations. Is that what you love to do, to help somebody go from one to many?
Yes. Like I've started with a Great Clips franchisee, and he was a semiconductor engineer who got into the franchise business. He's now no longer a semiconductor engineer. He has 20 locations in Central Texas. So we went from 1 to 20 in a matter of 6 years.
Okay.
Neat. And so is what you provide them a roadmap, or is it skills? Or is it both?
Or know-how?
It's both. And it starts with converting that mindset from the operator to the owner with a vision, like a Ray Kroc, if you will, and then executing and introducing, the brand building and business building practices that really are hinge on innovation and marketing.
Okay. So are you hearing it, Kevin?
Yeah, I got pieces
It's like
of
when-
that with you, Terry.
I think the key is try not to explain the what,
Yeah.
like how you get there, but just get there, right? So it's when you really feel this in your DNA, you can say it in 2 sentences, like I have a passion for helping small, X, get to large Y.
Yeah,
And my gift or the value is I'm bringing the know-how and I'm showing them how to get there. End of story. And you don't need to get all into it because it's the realness and the visceralness and the directness that communicates the power. Like this, if I need that, this is somebody I need to talk to. Does that make sense, Richard?
It does. Thank you for that.
So
Extremely.
try it one more time, just nice and tight like that. And you can try value gift first or passion first. If you lead more from the heart and you're just a passionate person, I always say do that first. If you really, the gift is really your jam, then or the value, start with that. But pick whichever way and just try to just say it, like in your face and let that power just flow through you.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you, all three of you. I appreciate it.
All right, who'd like to go next?
I'd love to volunteer. It's Melissa.
All right, Melissa, take it away.
Okay.
Oh,
I help people reverse and prevent chronic disease through food as medicine, healing the gut, and creating habits that actually work. And my passion, what I think about when I wake up in the middle of the night, is how to help people figure out to age vibrantly and independently so that they're not showing up at their doctor's office with a shoebox full of prescription medications.
I love that.
yeah, we could see that shoebox of prescription RXs. So that's awesome. So absolutely wonderful. And similar to what you've heard, we're just going to, can you cherry pick out and get it down to like shorten it, just tighten it up a little bit to like 2 sentences. So on that first part, you gave like 3 different things. When you first listed, if you say that first part again.
Yeah, in fact, I had expanded it over time, and maybe I'm overcomplicating it because I used to say I help people reverse and prevent chronic disease, period.
Period.
Mary, oh, like mic drop moment, and then add in what you're passionate about.
And my passion is to help people figure out how to age vibrantly and independently so they're not showing up at their doctor's office with a shoebox full of prescription medications.
Love it.
That.
Love it.
Okay.
Yeah. That term vibrantly. I love that.
Yeah.
That is kind of the center of everything. Because that's
Yeah.
compelling. People ask questions after you say that, you're like, what do you mean? And then you have an opportunity to elaborate.
Yeah. I like where it ends with Kevin said, ending with the vibrantly, because when you talk about showing up with the shoebox, it's kind of like the how or the what part. But the vibrant is such a powerful word.
Yeah.
Also, don't even bring in the shoebox full of prescription medications. I always felt like it was such a powerful image because that was one of the things that was my why. My dad having boxes of medications. But so just say, I help people reverse and prevent chronic disease. And my passion is to help people figure out how to age vibrantly.
Yeah. And I would say, Melissa, sometimes say the visual with the box of prescription
Yeah.
medications and sometimes don't. And you'll
Yeah.
know what's right for you because
Yep.
it isn't about the perfect formula, the perfect statement. It's really about what is the real you, what's the real power, and then just play with it and see what happens.
Okay.
Based on the environment you're in, based on who you're talking to,
Yeah. And just
Yeah.
like Terry said, you'll know, because I know mine's is short and sometimes it gets a little bit longer, but you because as you've heard here, it's coming through you, it's authentic, you'll know.
Yeah. I think it was it Star, maybe it was you who said it, or maybe it was Susan who said they get nervous when they have to like address a lot of people at one time. And so I find that if I have just a couple of things that I feel in my body that I can just kind of spit them out, but if I have to remember a lot of stuff, it doesn't work so well.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Love that. We've got time for one more, and who would like to go next?
I'd like to go next. This is Ann.
All right, Ann, let's do it.
So my gift is, as a strategic thinker, being able to see through chaos to the clearest path forward. And my passion is about empowering dreams. So it's in taking those gifts to help you get where you're going and seeing the clearest path forward.
Oh, like, wow. Okay, can you just say that like you were introducing yourself? Yeah, like, hey, Ann, nice to meet you. Tell me what you do.
Well, thank you, Michelle. Well, I help people see their vision. And blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Speak from the heart, baby.
What really excites me is, as a strategic thinker, I can see through clutter to get rid of everything that's keeping you from your dreams. And my dream is to empower your dream.
Kevin, Michelle, what do you think?
And who's your main target customer who you love to work with?
Executive women 50 plus.
Okay.
Executive women 50 plus.
Well,
So-
I actually have two targets for my business. It's nonprofit CEOs, and for my coaching business, it's executive women over 50.
Okay. What was the first thing you said before? Because you switched it up the second time when we went.
As a strategic thinker, I see through chaos to
Chaos.
find the clearest path forward.
Back.
Okay.
Yep.
I think that is one of my, if not my best, one of my very best gifts.
Oh, I think that, like, that statement right there, wrapping around that, that's
Okay.
what your the benefit is. You're seeing through their chaos to help them get to the clearest path forward. And
Okay.
then the first part was that passion that you said after.
Well, I mean, my passion, I'm very passionate about strategy, but my passion as far as ShiftCo and what we identified is empowering dreams,
Yeah.
which I see is very aligned with strategy and clearing through the clutter.
Like, I hear, like, you have your varied way of picking what you're going to say based on who you're in front of. It's just, Kevin, I don't know if you hear anything different, but if you're, my gift is, empowering dreams, or my gift is strategic planning, or whatever you're saying. And I help people to see clear through the chaos. It's a little bit of
But
what I
it's
heard.
like busy women professionals, right? That you're focusing on. So I think that should be in there too. So, I mean, when you deliver the value, you deliver it to busy women professionals,
Wonderful. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. So there's a couple of things that I'll just remind you, and then we'll talk about the upcoming events, and then give you a couple of little tips on authentic growth strategies. Remember, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And the more direct that you can be, rather than that canned scripted thing, and the more you can let your fire just show, people feel that. And when they feel the power, that's your credibility. It's not, giving them all the things that you've done, your resume to back you up. They feel your power. They feel the truth. They feel the authenticity. And when you can just say, look, my gift is growing businesses. I can't not do it. And my passion is helping other entrepreneurs grow their business. If somebody's looking for that, they are going to ask me, they're going to look me up on LinkedIn. They're going to connect with me right away. I don't have to give them my resume, right? It's really letting them feel the power of that. So Kevin and Michelle, thank you so much for being coaches on our platform, and for sharing your wisdom today. We have a couple of events coming up. We're going to shift success using What If Up and have a ton of fun with that. That's going to be next Thursday. And then the week after that, we've got 3 sustainable companies coming and talking about strategies for how they got their business, where they got their business, around the area of sustainability. The last thing I just want to share is just, a little bit about SHIFCO and what these authentic business growth strategies are. For the folks that are on SHIFCO, this, but your business will grow using the platform. That is our claim to fame, is that we help members grow their business, and our methods work for that. Secondly, the coolest thing is that the support that you're going to get from people like the ones you heard from today, the coaches that we have and the mentors, that everybody's just all in to help each other. And then lastly, we really do work together. We help each other grow, and we have all sorts of ways to help you do that. What you get on the SHIFCO platform is a mentor who's been there, done that, and they've grown their business using the methods. They're going to help you figure out what to focus on. You heard Kevin and Michelle talk about pathways. So there's 50 different pathways on the platform. You work on the pathway that you really need to get to the next level. The lessons are online, so you learn the content online in addition to formats like this. You have at least 2 coaches that you're working with at any given point, one that's helping you with the pathway, and then one that's helping you navigate the business phase that you're in, and the community. We have all of these different ways that we collaborate to help each other grow. And the training includes business, leadership, and personal development, which is really, really cool. We're going to be announcing some big name teachers that are going to be on our platform very, very soon, which is very exciting. Some real game changers that are going to be joining our master teacher platform. Also, the Shift Connect platform, we do everything through that and communicate on that. And then lastly are these business phases. So wherever you are, our job is to help you grow where you want to be. At a minimum, we want every member in shape at a minimum. I will not stop. I get up crazy hours helping members try to go from launch to shape. At a minimum, we want your business in shape. And we have tons and tons of creative ways to help you do that. Some of you will want to go on to build and evolve and grow and scale. Some want to stop and shape. You pick. We just want to help you get there. Everything is included. You have 3 different maps. If you're in launch or shape, it's $195 a month. If you're build evolve, it's $225 a month. It's month to month, no long-term commitments. And then if you're in grow and scale, it's $325 a month. That includes mentoring, coaching, training, events, support, yada, 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 everything that you need. Very affordable. We built it that way on purpose. And if you are looking to get to the next level and SHIFCO is for you, please join us. We'd love to have you do that. And I will also let you know that all of the events that are on our site are free, and they're free because we want to help you whether you're a member or not. That's just how we roll. But if you really do want to get the additional coaching support and mentoring support, we'd love to have you on our platform. And I'm going to go ahead and pause the